In this Procreate tutorial, I will show you how to draw a cute bear step by step. Please download the free brushes and color palette we will use via the link in the video description. And if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. Let's go ahead and create a new canvas. For that I will click on this plus button here, one more time, and enter the dimensions of the canvas, 2000 by 2500 pixels, 300 dpi. To draw this cute bear, we're gonna use mostly standard Procreate brushes. In addition to that, I included my free brush set with seamless knitting patterns and a leaf stamp for the background. This one was taken from the premium set of 20 autumn leaves available on my Patreon. You can get all these brushes used in the tutorial free of charge along with the color palette in the video description. If you like my YouTube tutorials and free brushes, you may want to check out my Patreon page, where I share in-depth tutorials and exclusive brush sets. The link to my Patreon is also below the video. With that being said, let's start drawing. So I will go to the color palette and select color number 6. It will be our base color. And in the inking set from Procreate, I'm gonna pick dry ink. If you like to make the lines smooth, we need to go to stabilization and increase the amount of streamline. I also added some pressure and amount of stabilization. I will set the brush size to 15% and draw a shape resembling a potato. This will be the head. Then I will make it wider. And draw on the opposite side. Like this. We can make it a bit curvy. Then connect all these lines. This way. And also at the bottom. Now I will draw two smaller shapes for the legs. Starting right from the side and going down. Let's also connect it this way and draw the second leg. I will also start from the side. Draw a similar shape. We also need to connect it. And before filling it, we can draw the ears as well. Just two small shapes on the sides of the head. I will make them rounded, like this. The first one, and then one more. We don't have to make them symmetrical, just similar. Let's make sure we don't have any gaps in the lines. And then drag the color inside. I will start with a big shape and adjust color drop threshold. Then I will fill this too. And draw more on the lines to remove them. We will just get slightly textured edge. But if you like to keep the texture inside, instead of filling the shape, you may need to paint it manually with your brush. I just made it faster this way. Alright, now the silhouette is ready. Let's also draw the tail on the same layer. Somewhere at the bottom, I will draw a shape similar to the ears and similar size. Let me start from here and draw it this way. I will increase the size and just paint it like this, so it will be textured. Now the tail is also ready. we can start adding more details. Let's now create a new layer above this one and draw the sweater. As the base color for it, I'm gonna use color number 10. And with the same brush, just draw 2 arcs. The first one will go approximately in the center of the tail, like this. Then it'll go up on the sides. And may go slightly outside the shape of the bear. We just need to connect it. Then I will draw on this side. Just make another arc. We can also make it a bit wider. This way. And draw another arc on top. Let's also try to fill the shape. And adjust color draw threshold by sliding the pencil to the sides. Let me remove the gaps here, on the sides. I will make this line smooth, more like an arc. And I think we can add the pattern right away. So let's create another layer, but not clip it so far. I will grab the next color, number 11, and select a seamless pattern. So let's open this brush set, and you can pick any one you like. I will select this one called Plaid. Its size is at 45%, and I will just paint like this. Make sure to cover the entire sweater. Now let's click on the arrow and switch to warp. I will just drag the sides a little down to turn these straight lines into arcs. And I will also move the sides a little inwards. Okay, now that's better. Let's go ahead and clip the layer to the base. Let me adjust the shape a little bit. I will drag it a little down. And now it is fine. Let's continue adding more details. So we can draw the arms and also shade the sweater. Right now let me create a layer above this one. It is on top of all layers. And we can pick the color right from here to draw the arms. Let's just go back to the previous brush. We can now find it in Recent and set its size to 15%, to where it was. I will draw 2 simple shapes on the sweater. For the arms, they may look like this. The first one, and then one more. Let's connect them with arcs on the sides. Also this one. And try to fill. Or if you like, you can paint them. If you like to have more texture. Let me work on the edges a little bit. And we can keep it like this. Start working on the facial features. For that I will create one more layer. And we can place it above this one. We will draw the eyes and the nose. So in the color palette, I will select this dark color number 14. And continue using the same brush. I will draw two small ovals for the eyes. The first one. I will paint it right away. And then draw one more. On the other side. Let me also paint it. Work on the edges. And after that, I will grab this light color, number 1. I would like to add light reflections inside the eyes, just as tiny ovals. Here comes the first one. And then the second one. With the same color, I will draw another simple shape reminding a pear. For the snout, I will start from here. And make it like this. Let's make it rather flat at the bottom. Not so rounded. We just need to connect it here. Also on top of the shape. After that I will increase the size and just paint it. So it'll be textured. Instead of filling. Let me adjust the edge a bit more. I will reduce the size again. Okay. This is better now. And we can add the shadow here. For that I will grab color number 13. And draw the shadow on the side. Just as an arc. Let's paint it this way. Go a little down. And just paint it carefully. Make sure to cover the white edge. Let me finish it here at the bottom. Like this. And after that we can draw the nose. So I will pick the color right from the eye. It's this dark one. And draw a shape of a mushroom on top of this light one. So it'll be an arc like this. And then go down, intersecting the light area. Let's also make it rather flat at the bottom. Something like this. Let me also paint it inside. I will work on the edge a bit more. Alright. Just a couple of more strokes. I made the brush size a bit smaller here. And now I will increase it again. Back to 15%. Draw a line going down from here. Or it may go as an arc. Let it be short enough. And then I will draw another arc for the smile. Like this. And this is how it turned out. I think we can also add some pink cheeks. So let's grab color number 9. Then make the size a little bit bigger. And draw 2 circles on the sides. Like this. And then the other one. Let's pick the white color, which is actually almost white, and draw 2 tiny circles on the cheeks for the light reflections. Then I will go back to this pink color and draw some shapes inside the ears. I will go back to 15% of the size and draw the circles this way. At the bottom it may go as a line. I will paint it this way. And then draw one more shape. Let me try to make it smaller right away. Like this. We also need to connect it here. And I will paint inside it. Okay. I think it already looks very cute. Let's continue working and add some shading. Next, I'd like to draw a big warm scarf. To do that, let's create a layer between these two and select the base color for it. It will be number 12. Let's also first draw 2 arcs, one at the bottom and another one on top. I will start from this side and draw it carefully this way. Go to the right. Let me outline it again. And then I will draw another one. It will go above the sweater, from here. Go outside the head, and on the sides I will connect them with curves, like this, and also here. Let's fill this shape and adjust the edges if needed. Like this. Here on top I will draw another small arc. And then paint it. Then draw 2 lines going this way. Also here. And connect at the bottom. Then I will draw another line a little upper, like this, and go up with an angle. Let's also fill these 2 shapes. We will separate them later, add a pattern and shade into it. We also need to paint these corners on the sides. And before doing it, let's go to the color disc, then go a little bit down and to the right to get a darker color. Let me also put it in the palette. I will paint these 2 corners. The first one, and then the other one on the right. Okay, it will be enough. Now that we have it, let's keep it as it is and go back to the body to start adding textures. So I will go to the layer number 1 here at the bottom and create another one on top of it. Let's clip it to the base to keep the texture inside. First I will select color number 7. And in the brush library, I will go to Materials. From this set I will select Stubble and set the brush size to 37%. Let's just paint on the entire shape like this, moving the pencil up and down. Also on the ears and down on the legs. Let's not forget the tail. We will get the soft fluffy texture. And now that we have it, let's also add shading. To do that, I will create one more layer and set it to multiply mode. I will continue using the same color, but due to the blending mode, it will get even darker. I think we can also reduce the opacity right away and set it to 40%. Also in the brushes, I will go back to dry ink, so we could start adding the shading. First I will add it on the ear, like this. Around this pink shape. Paint it like this. And go down to the scarf. From this point, make a corner like this and close to the edge. Let's paint it on this side. If you like, you can also clip it, but we can just be careful while painting. This way. Let's also shade the second ear. I will make a stroke this way, on top of it. Then go down. And also shade this area around the pink part. We have the hands on a separate layer, so we can skip it now and go to the tail. I will shade its lower part. Make a shape like this. Then on the leg, I will go from this side, make this hook, and add the shadow under the sweater. Go up like this, all along the way. Let's paint it. On the edge. And the entire area like this. Even through this color, we can still see the hairs. But if we used it in normal mode and in full opacity, we would lose it. So blending modes help here a lot. Let's add a shadow on this leg. I will make it parallel. And also draw a line here on the belly. Just make an arc like this. Go up. Let's connect it with this line. And we can also add some details. For example, I will add a couple of hairs here, just short lines. Also on the ear and on the head. Draw a few more tiny lines with an angle. We can add the shadow under the eyes, like this, and under the snout. It is still half transparent, so the hairs are visible. Alright, maybe we can add some hairs here on the tail, also on the leg, on this one, and on the belly. They will go horizontally, like this. Now that we have the shadows, let's also add the highlights. And I will do it on another layer. Let's create it and set it to vivid light. But I will keep it in full opacity. Just go to the color palette and select color number 8. Let's add a highlight here on the ear. And also on top of the head. Like this. Let's highlight this ear at the bottom. Add a couple of hairs. And go down. This way. Just a couple of more lines. Let's highlight this area on the tail. Some tiny lines. Then another highlight here on the leg. And as you can see, we can also observe the hairs. This is how the blending mode worked. I will add another highlight on the right side, on this leg. Make it parallel. And then a couple of hairs as well, for the details. When it is ready, we can work on the arms. Let's do all the same steps. So we can already merge these layers for the body. I will go to this layer number 4, then create another one above it, and clip it. Let's grab color number 7 and also stubble brush. I will make strokes like this on this one, and after that add the shadows. So let's create a new layer, and then I will clip it, just to make the process faster, now that you know how to do it. Let's set it to multiply mode and reduce the opacity to 40%, same as we did on the body. We need to switch back to dry ink and add the shadows. We will add the sleeves later, so there will be a cast shadow, starting from this point and go down as an arc. I will paint it this way and then add some fingers, just as small triangles. Let's do the same on the second arm. I will also add a cast shadow first, starting from top and going down. I think we can make it even wider, this way. Then I will add the fingers, just 2 lines, and some hairs. like this. Let's also add a highlight on a new layer. I will also clip this one and set to vivid light. Let's select color number 8 from the palette. First I will add a line here on top, then a couple of hairs, and do the same on the opposite side. Just highlight this part. And a few tiny lines. Okay, this is also done. Let's finish the sweater. So we can merge these layers. Go to the layer with the pattern and select color number 11. Let's also use dry ink. I will draw a line here at the bottom of the sweater. Like this. And draw simple sleeves. Just continue this line. Also connect it here. And on the opposite side as well. Draw in the first line, then this arc. It may go a little down, and I will draw another line. Very simple, like this. Now let's add a quick shading. To do that I will create another layer above this one, then clip it, and set it to soft light. In the color disk I will pick black color by double tapping here at the bottom, and as the shading brush I will pick one from Paint and Set. It will be Nico Rule. Let's set the size to around 20% and start making strokes with low pressure, going a little up from the edge and also on the sides. After that I will add a cast shadow from the scarf. Very simple. Now it is ready. I will also merge these layers. We only need to finish the scarf. So let's go here and then create another layer above. First I will add the pattern. So let's clip the layer and also set it to soft light. We can pick white color right from the background and continue using Nico Rule brush. Let's first create a selection. So I will click here and use it in freehand. Starting from this point, I will divide the scarf into a few parts. It will be the first one. We need to connect it this way, then tap on it, and I will save it. So I will tap on this heart, then on the plus icon. Now the selection is created and saved, so we can use it later. Now let's tap on the brush to activate it and reduce the size. I think around 7% will work. I will start drawing the pattern, like this. We also need to consider the shape. Let's keep some distance and add more lines. That will actually look like arcs. Another one. Then I will make the size even smaller, like 3 or 4%, and add thinner lines inside, like this. One more. After that, I will draw 2 more lines going parallel. And keeping it textured. This one is ready. We can deselect. Then go back to selection, click Save and Load, and pick the selection that we created before. But after that, I will click Invert. So now we have the remaining areas selected. Let's tap on the brush again and set the size to 7%. I will start drawing more lines on this part of the scarf. Then here I will be careful because these two parts are connected. Draw another big line. This way. And after that we can make the size smaller. To 4%. I will draw thinner lines. Make this one curvy. Then another one. And here. Let's also draw parallel lines like this. Then the other one that goes on top. The pattern is almost ready. We only need to finish it here. So let me increase it back to 7%. I will just draw one big line somewhere here. Then make the size smaller and add more tiny lines like this. Then draw only one that goes vertically. Okay, while we have selection active, let's add the shading quickly. So I will create one more layer above this one. Let's also clip it and set it to soft light. But this time I will pick black color. Increase the size and start adding the shading around this shape, so it will work as a cast shadow. Also on this side and on the sides, just a little bit with very low pressure. Let's shade it here and also here. We can make the size a bit smaller to shade this part. Since we don't have a separate selection for it. Then I will add another stroke for the cast shadow that comes from this part. Like this. Now deselecting, going back to selection, and I will load it again. Let me increase the size to shade this part a little bit. So I will make a stroke on top of the shape and then also on this side a little bit. Like this. Now it is also ready. Let's work on the background. So I will create a layer under all layers. And before we draw the shape, we can also change the background color. So I will tap here and select color number 1. Now we are on the new layer. And we can draw a shape using color number 2. We also need to select dry ink. Just increase the size a little. Let's set it to 30%. Let's just draw a big shape looking like an egg or uneven circle behind the bear. Let's connect it and then drag the color inside. If you are not fully satisfied with the shape, it can be fixed using Liquify in push mode. Just push it to the sides. So in the end we will get something like this. Let me push it a bit up on the legs. And now I think it is fine. I will just make the line here. After that I'll lock the layer to add some shading to it. I will pick the next color, which is slightly darker, go to Texture Set from Procreate, and select Grunge Brush. I will set the size to 25% and make some strokes going up to add the texture at the bottom, like this. After that I will create one more layer above this one and select color number 5. Let me use dry ink again, but make it thinner, around 12% is fine. I will draw some simple tree shapes. Just drawing vertical lines, and then a few more going to the sides, like this. Some of them can be longer. They may go outside the shape or stay inside it. I will just make the straight lines. Also here. Then on the right side. Make it vertical. And then a few smaller lines. I think the last one. Just keeping a very simple background. Now let's create one more layer. And select color number 4. I think we can place this layer underneath. I'm going to use this leaf stamp. Just rotate the canvas and tap a few times on the background with the size set to 13%. Let's also do it on the left side. And now it is also ready. We only need to add the cast shadow under the bear. For that I'm also going to use Grunge Brush from Textures. Just create one more layer, adjust the brush size, and start making the strokes under the bear, like this. Now we can scale it and also move. I will put it here. And at this point, the drawing is complete. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Tag me if you post a version on Instagram. For more tutorials and brush sets, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.